just to emphasize that in this room we have the National Council of Chiefs members. There are 36. You are aware that when you talk of National Council of Chiefs, you are talking of representation across the country. You may want to know that in the Council of Chiefs, we have chiefs from Benga, Chonocho, Bobi in Mat North, you can move to Mat South, you have Plumtree, you have Matobo, you have Badbridge, you have Gwanda, Mashingo from Mwenezi, you go to Bikita, Mashingo District, Zaka, kind of Matabeleland, you go from Chipinge, Chimanimani, also Yamarusape, Nyanga, Buhera, Ogawea East, you have Mtoko, Gromonzi area, you also have Weta. I'm just picking some areas. Mar Centro, you're from Grube, right down that side. You also have from Shamba, you have from Shamba Nabubi, Zeguru Minyaradzi Muribubi, Bindura, Ugawe Kwekwe. I think that I'm saying this because I'm saying, the point I want to deliver is, this is a very representative body of all ethnic groups in this country. You are aware that the president, I want to say the word, allowed us, gave us the mandate to pursue the issue of Gukurahundi and the emotions that still exist around the issue of Gukurahundi. And you have seen the president interacting with the Chiefs Council and the chiefs from Mat North, Mat South, several times here in Bulawayo. So since we were tasked, we've moved a long way. Some may think, but they are still quiet. No, we are not quiet. We are doing a lot of things, and the president will go through what we have done. We've been working every month, every week, to ensure that eventually we put closure to the issues around Gukurahundi. We are aware that we are in Mat North and Mat South. We are not in the Midlands. And for a clear purpose, with the president himself said, do these two first, then we see Midlands later. And I think the issues, we didn't want to chew too much in one go. So allow us to finish Mat North, Mat South. The Chiefs Council was mandated by this country through the president to seek resolution to issues around Gukurahundi. I therefore hand over President Chief Khumalo to tell us where we've come from, where we are, and what the nation should expect. And then, of course, we'll fill you in at a later stage. But we are going to a stage where we feel we want to move with the media and the public. All the Zimbabweans should now know what is happening. And that's why we invited you. Of course, there will be a question session at the end, but I invite the president.
This exercise, as we all know, started as early as 2019 when we were in State House. I won't go into details of what transpired there because the Vice President has already covered most of the issues. But the Chiefs Council was assigned this responsibility of closing the Gukurahundi era in 2019. Little did we know that we're going to have so much training to acquire before we can go out to the so-called victims in Mat North and Mat South provinces. All these 4 years, we've been having meetings with stakeholders and workshops for the chiefs themselves, their rapporteurs, and their panel members. There are 72 chiefs that have been involved in this exercise, Mat North and Mat South. There are 72 chiefs that are involved in this exercise. And each of them has 14 panel members that are coming from each and every chief's community. And those members are either from the church, the traditional leadership, the women representatives, and in some cases even the youth representatives. There are 14 of them, and the chief is expected to chair those panel members before the outreach program, and when the outreach program begins, the chairperson will be the chief in each and every district in Mat North and Mat South. Like I've said, we've trained panel members, rapporteurs. There are 2 rapporteurs for each chief who will be taking or be recording what transpires at those meetings. And we have also got 2 rapporteurs. I've talked about their panel members. And each chief will be expected to hold meetings either at village or what level, but most proposed was if we could have meetings at village levels so that people do not travel long distances. To date, there are about 1,008 people that have been trained. The chiefs, the rapporteurs, and their panel members. They have been trained on what is expected of them in this program of dealing with the past. Because the Gukurahundi issue is a program that deals with the past. So we had other people who were helping us go through of what has happened in other countries on dealing with the past, but obviously we wanted to have it our own way and not adopt everything from what other. The manual for the chiefs, and later on the handbook, and all those documents are dealing with what each and every member will be doing on the ground. What will be the panel member be expected to do? What will be the chief be expected to do? What will be the rapporteur be expected to do? But briefly I can say, whether it's before the public hearing or any other time, the chief will always be the chairperson, and the 2 rapporteurs will be recording each and every victim's evidence on what transpired during the Gukurahundi issue. We obviously need some equipment to be used as we go out on the outreach program, which we believe will be undertaken in the beginning of next year. We are not sure yet, because we are yet to invite His Excellency to launch the outreach program before we go out to the people on the ground. So we expect this outreach program to take place early next year. I think the latest will be February. That's our expectation. If all goes out, that we will all go out for the outreach program early next year. We have already made a budget for that and submitted it to the Office of the President, and we believe that they will approve, or they have approved that budget, which we shall use as we go out in the outreach program. I've already said we need some equipment as we go out for recording and other things like that for rapporteurs, where the chiefs, the panel members and the rapporteurs have also been trained on that, so that the chief is also aware of what his or her rapporteur is supposed to be doing on the ground. So we have been, all those people have been trained, and they are ready to go to the ground, as, like I've said, as early next year. This week, we're training for the media. The Chiefs Council was involved in the training on the media, because we're expecting the media to be involved in the outreach program. But we all agreed at this meeting that we shall not allow the media to record as the proceedings continue, but we shall make some arrangements for the media to be convened at a certain place, at a certain venue, so that each and every media can attend that news conference. I don't want to divulge that at this moment, but we've made arrangements that the media will only be invited after the proceedings, maybe after a week or after 2 weeks, but I think after a week, so that they are briefed of what is happening. And obviously, we shall not exclude any media in that news conference. Each and every person representing whichever media will have the latitude to attend that media conference. Honorable members of the Chiefs Council and colleagues, we decided that we shall also have a media house, which will be manned by our personnel that will have trained, and we also be involved we shall invite our church our church representatives and other people that we meet on daily basis as we do our chores, particularly in rural areas. Like I've said, this program will only take place for the time being, and I think the Vice President also alluded to that it will only take place in Mud North and Mud South. It can only be extended to Midlands as and when it's seen fit to extend it to Matabeleland, to Midlands. But the start of the program was Mud North and Mud South. So we are ready to go, and if other things are still left out, we might still have 1 or 2 workshops just to polish up where we believe we still need some more training, particularly on the media and on other people that have not attended other sessions. We believe during the course of next year, early next year, funds available, we shall start training those that haven't been trained, and obviously go back to the media as well. I think briefly this is where we are now, that what is left is that to ask His Excellency to launch the program, and then we can start the ball rolling with our people on the ground. And mostly those people who were affected by the Gukurahundi era. We have had people saying, but some people that were affected are living in rural areas. Yes, we know people that maybe have been affected are now living in rural areas. But what we believe is that if you are living in an urban setup, you are still connected to your rural area. So you'll be connected to your rural area, and if you are told the date of the meeting in your rural area, obviously you have to travel to your place so that you can give your testimony there. Because we are not going to have meetings in urban areas. We are only going to have meetings taking place in those rural areas in Mud North and Mud South. Thank you so much for that. Respond to the first question as to the length of the program, and I believe you are referring to the outreach program. We're not sure how long it will take, but we estimate about 3 months. We expect about 3 months from the inception of the program. It may be more, it may be less. I'll give the rest to my colleague.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next one, okay, even on the hearing, how long? As long as people still come forward, we will be in the outreach. It's difficult to estimate, to say how many families will approach Chiefs Kobo in their area, for example. We don't know. It could be 10, it could be 50. So it's a bit difficult to say where exactly, but 3-6 months maybe. Let's see how it goes. Budget. No, usually you don't want to. People may then start focusing on the budget and leave the Gukurahundi itself. And start saying, oh, how come this money is not enough or it's more than enough? I think your interest should be, are you well resourced to be able to carry out this? Yes. That should be the answer. We are well resourced to carry out the outreach. As to what amount, in other organizations, we've seen people taking more time talking about amounts of money rather than what is going to be done. So the actual figure, after all, can be a moving target. You see, sometimes where we budgeted so much, we may take less than what we anticipated, or we may even take more. But we are there. Now, birth certificates, yes. When we first launched, we said, we even invited Registrar General and heads of provinces from the Registrar General's offices. We said, those are what we call in change management, quick wins. We don't need to go to the outreach first in order to give people birth certificates. So we unlocked that part and said, please, show that Gukurahundi is making progress. Can you come forward if you have issues to do with Gukurahundi and birth certificates, even death certificates? So that program started already. It's a continuous program, and it will continue even during and even after the outreach. I think those are the questions. Just to supplement a bit and say, we are also want to announce to you that we are going to appoint a spokesperson for the Gukurahundi. If we delay, keep phoning and say, who is, we are going to announce formally that the media, I know you are more comfortable knowing who, will give you a name and a person who will respond to questions. But doesn't mean that the president or the deputy may sometime may give a statement. But we will have a spokesperson to communicate with the media on these issues. And the command center has been mentioned by the president. We'll have a command center here in Bulawayo with people that are full-time, beginning next month. We don't have a date, but sometime next month we'll have a command center manned by Gukurahundi staff who will be running on issues that are urgent. I want to emphasize that this is a victim-centered approach, victim-centered. So we are going out, the outreach will identify victims. Each chief, as you have said before, each chief in their own area will communicate, invite those victims that have issues to submit. And we've said before, each chief will conduct hearings in their own area, not outside their area. It has been a great concern. Some say, no, but you see, we can't have chiefs. No, it is the chief of that area only who will preside over the hearings. Because things to do with maybe deaths and all that, these are always cultural specific. So we are respecting the various cultures of each chieftainship to deal with these issues of people who may have gone missing or who have been somehow, whatever, disadvantaged. It is better dealt with in a cultural specific manner, using your own values. That uri kubinga or uri ku Bide Bridge, stout sepachivenda. How do we handle my issues of someone who is missing in the family or whom we know died? Pachivenda ipapo, pachinambia ipapo, pachisutu ipapo, pachikalanga, pachinguni on the way. That's very important. People are attacking us because they think we generalize. No, each clan, each particular chieftainship with its own values and cultures will deal with these issues. That's why we don't listen too much to people who want to nationalize and internationalize this issue. Because once you nationalize and internationalize, you lose the cultural aspect. And it becomes something that is just generic. And we are not here for the generic approach. So I wanted to emphasize victim-centered, cultural specific, and then the rest should follow. Can I also lastly say, look, we are doing this now because now we are now going out. And you media tell the nation that the preparatory stage is now coming to the close. We are preparing to go out to the people. I think we've reached a stage where now we say, now we have done training, we have now the gadgets, we have the laptops, we have the recorders, we have the software, the printers. We are now ready to go out for the outreach. And I think the media tell the public as much as possible, national, international, tell them that Zimbabwe is going out on an outreach to put closure to issues around Gukurahundi. So your role now is to work with us. Can you work with the National Council of Chiefs? Work with the chiefs closely. Don't wait for us to contact you. Sometimes even provoke us, but we'll announce a spokesperson that let's move together. Let's share information with the public as much as possible. Don't shy away from this program. Whether you are Al Jazeera, whether you are whoever, whichever media, we are all invited. Come, we move together. We want people to have on-time information about what is happening. And we are proud that this is unique to Zimbabwe. The way we are doing it, there's been Gachacha in Rwanda, they did it in their own way, in their own traditional way. You can go all over the world, there have been a lot of peace initiatives. But this one is unique to Zimbabwe. The way we are doing it, no one else has done it. Traditional leaders, Chiefs Council, leading a process of this nature, it has not have been done, and we are very optimistic it will be a success.
As we go out to the field as chiefs with our panel members, we don't want to pretend we know the perpetrators. We can only hear from the people that were affected who the perpetrators were. And if they tell us who they were, we shall record that and maybe make recommendations to His Excellency as to what we believe should be done to those perpetrators. But as things stand now, we don't know who the perpetrators were. And on the Secretariat, I think I did mention that we have 2 rapporteurs for each chief. And you can multiply 72 by 2. I think you're getting something at 144. For 144 rapporteurs that have been trained for this exercise. So two rapporteurs for each and every chief. I don't know if my deputy wants to add anything.
Okay. I think the point of departure in this unique way of resolving conflicts, and I want to say unique way, there's a point of departure with the Western system. It's very, very important. Your question implies that why don't we also look at the Western system of resolving conflicts? I want to say the Western systems have actually failed in Africa. Those Western systems have failed in Africa and across the continent. Go to Sudan today. Sudan here. They will tell you that since 1956, that country has always been at war. They've won an election this time. Civil, the next is a coup. So the other 5 years is military, the other is civilian, the other is military. But if you look at initiatives trying to resolve the conflicts based on the Western models, then the UN failed in the last minute conflict. Go to Somalia. Somalia, you all know, for years, since the Barry, 1962-63, up to now, because they are using my envoys, UN and all that, they are not dealing with the local ways of resolving conflicts. I can go on in the DRC, of course, one of the most successful is Rwanda, where they followed local systems and to make Rwanda most peaceful on the continent. Because I'm Pan-African Parliament, of course, I can tell you all these conflicts on the continent. Mali, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, you don't go out Liberia, don't go out. Although the UN, the AU, 75% of its budget, the AU, African Union, is on conflict resolution. Because my methods, they are wrong. Now, using our own local cultural way of doing things, I think our departure is that we are for restorative justice. No, but no, Sierra never could say, I will know, restore, give them back. That's the culture, the Zimbabwean way of doing things. To restore the person. This person caused harm to me. Sakatodi Angandi too. Not the Western system elsewhere. It's rich in procedural justice, but very poor in terms of restorative justice. Yedui is not to cause more conflict. It further. Ours is say, and the government is willing, the president has said, for those families or individuals that will submit credible evidence to say, you know what, we lost this during that period and can be compensated by this way. Government is willing to compensate. Rather than create more wars and going to say, no, that's ours is to say, yes, you are in pain because of what happened. How can we restore you? So I want to say we emphasize restorative justice so that it and I can go even further. As we say, which we see in this Western system of justice, where someone steals my cattle now, and it's raining. Tonight, the 6 head of my cattle is gone. 4 of which is what I use to plow my fields. The person is caught. Then you start on a long process of under court, bail, and then in and then, okay, sentenced to 12 years. I don't have food. Ours says, Okabangombe zake, chimuzotsera 5+2. Munoyatopinda back mumundu. So that's a major departure. That these people trust kunesana mujere, personal, but yet the victim remains even poorer. So that system of justice is not what is within our culture. We want to use a system of culture which is in sync with the feelings and the values of our people, and they come out victorious. As Odipangombe is given us back our cattle, he's given a bag, and if we also find an extra amount, so the victim goes out much happier than to say, "I will come in prison." What does coming prison give me after all? And we end up government having to feed them there. And another budget, food is more expensive for the government. Any budget, you worry parts. Okay, kana usina baba wako mama zako mkwasha, your family members can contribute to restore Munuya who suffered the pain. It's much better. So we are not going out to create conflicts. We are going there to ensure there is restoration, there is redemption. Thank you.